Imagine you're someone dealing with social anxiety. You would find yourself constantly fearing the judgments of other people. Perhaps to an extent, we all do this in certain circumstances. Say, like in a panel interview for a job we really want, or when giving a presentation that we're nervous about. But if you have social anxiety, what other people think of you is the overriding concern in pretty much every situation. People with social anxiety are afraid of doing or saying the wrong thing. They're frightened that they'll get something wrong, feel embarrassed, or even worse, be humiliated or rejected by other people. The verb to humiliate in English, humiliate, means to cause someone shame or loss of respect. Worries can centre around appearance or functions of the body like sweating, blushing, shaking, voice quaking, or simply looking strange to other people. And of course, if you're anxious about all of these things, they're much more likely to happen. Or the anxiety can focus on seeming stupid or boring to other people. And the biggest fear of the person with social anxiety is that they will be disliked by others. And this seems to be fairly independent of whether that's actually happening. For many people with social anxiety, it also doesn't seem to matter who the other people are, whom they imagine judging or rejecting them. It could be passers-by in the street, people they're never going to see again, or people that they know but they don't actually like. So it feels crucially important that everybody likes me, and no one must have a negative thought about me ever. Being unpopular, even if it's temporary, even if it's for a positive cause, is something that the socially anxious person finds extremely hard to handle. And conflict? Don't even go there. People with social anxiety will not do conflict, unless it's with someone they know extremely well. Have you ever found yourself anticipating all the possible negatives before a social event? Despite the outcome being unknown, the person with social anxiety does this big time. To anticipate, A-N-T-I-C-I-P-A-T-E, means to expect something before it actually happens. So the socially anxious will get very nervous before a social occasion and imagine all kinds of terrible outcomes where they're rejected or no one speaks to them, or worse still, they're openly mocked. The fear is so strong sometimes that it's quite typical that people with social anxiety cancel social engagements at the very last minute. And even if the person with social anxiety actually goes to the party, the meeting, the wedding, the pub, or wherever it is, they may interpret people's reactions to them as rejecting, even where actually they're not. So social anxiety sufferers misinterpret other people's reactions to fit in with their socially anxious expectations. Then they feel even worse about themselves. A common theme is that people with social anxiety remain quiet a lot of the time. It feels safer that way. If they were to tell a joke, make a comment, or tell a funny story, not only would it be difficult in the moment when all those heads turn to look at them, but they would probably also wake up the following morning wondering whom they had offended. While anticipatory anxiety is a big thing before a social event, this is what I tend to call in therapy post-mortem social anxiety. Worrying about what you said after the event, even though there was no sign at the time that anyone took offence. And this can go on for weeks, or for some people, even years.